Hi guys, it's Heather from Strings and Threads. Today I'm going to show a tutorial on how to do this Hearts Entwined pattern. This can be knitted or it can be crocheted. This tutorial is the crocheted version. I'm going to show you in the waistcoat stitch, which actually looks very much like a knitted stitch. But you can use any stitch you want. You can, if you don't mind it looking like a single crochet, you can do this with single crochets. Probably even half double crochets. I don't know if I would go double crochet or wider, but maybe it would still work like that. So I would suggest either the waistcoat stitch, single crochet, or half double crochet. There might be some other stitches that would also look good, but I'm going to show you with the waistcoat stitch. So what we're going to make today, we're going to make a smaller version of the headband, but the directions are in here for the headband. So this is just kind of a simple PDF that I came up with. It's in my description, so you can feel free to print it out. It doesn't have like step-by-step directions. It has the graph. And then it kind of just says you have to work in a round for this. You can use whatever yarn you want. Just use the hook that matches the type of yarn you're going to use. And that you should start with one row of single crochets before you get going into the pattern. And then there are some project ideas. This certainly isn't everything that you can do. You can do anything that you want with these, but these are just some suggestions. And like for the headband, I let you know how many worked for my head, but you can certainly adjust the size. I even wrote it here. You can adjust it by doing more or less repeats. So what I'm going to show you is the wristband, and the wristband will be 2 lengthwise repeats of this. We're not repeating it up and down. We would be repeating it side to side. So we go in a round. So there's 19 stitches here. We would do 19 times 2, 38 chains, and then you single crochet 1 row to get started. So why don't we do that? Chain 38, attach with a slip stitch to the first chain, and then do a round of single crochets and then come back. Okay, so I did the 38 stitches, and this is rather large. I have a pretty large wrist, so 1 repeat is not big enough, not wide enough for it to fit around my wrist. But if you are doing this for someone who's much smaller, or if you are much smaller, you might be able to get away with just doing the 19 stitches and doing this repeat once, not repeating it, I should say, just doing the pattern once. But I needed to do 2 just because my wrist is a little bit too large for that. I'm going to be using, I forgot to tell you what I was using for yarn. I'm using Red Heart Super Saver Gray for the main color. I did white for this one. I didn't want to do white again. And then this is just some scrap yarn that I had on my shelf, but it's some sort of medium weight yarn, hot pink. I'm going to use that for the hearts. And then there will just be this dot in the middle that will only come up once per pattern. So if you're repeating this pattern and you're doing it twice like I am, there'll be 2 stitches. But if you're doing this for someone with smaller wrists than me, then you might only be making 1. I just decided to use that blue for those two stitches. So now we're gonna, oops, I'm pulling stitches out by accident here. We are going to, sorry, that was a single crochet. We're going to go for the waistcoat stitch, and I'm also going to use a stitch marker to mark the first stitch because I'm not going to attach and chain because it makes a little line on there. If you were single crocheting, you would just go right into here, just a normal single crochet, okay? But for the waistcoat stitch, you're actually going to look at these stitches from the side, and you see how there's kind of a V right here. Right here, we're going to go right into the V, which is what gives it the knitted look. So you're going to go through that V, pull up your stitch, and then just go as if you were doing a regular single crochet. Now this is the first stitch. And if we look at our pattern, it is, I'm sorry, let me get a pointer so we can see. The first row is right here. We're going to be reading it like this. It's always going to be right to left. So the main color, which is white on here, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches of the main color, which is gray in my case. We're going to do the waistcoat stitch to make it look knitted. So that's 1. We're going to go in between that V there. 2. Here's the next V. 3. And then here's the next V. 4. And then here's 5. Now, before I finish it, because the next 2 stitches are going to be the heart color, this is how I join another color. You might do it the same way. Okay, so I do a little loop at the bottom, and I draw the loop through. Okay, and then we can pull with the original color. And we're going to just carry the color along, so it's not going to, we're not going to be taking away anything or, cutting anything off. So now the next 2 stitches are the heart color. So we're going to go into the V, bring up a loop and do a regular single crochet, but I am going to single crochet the tail in just so that color is secure in here. So there's like a single crochet. Go into the next V because 2 of them are this color. And then I went too far because I forgot the next stitch is going to be the main color. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches of the main color. So bring the main color back, draw it through the single crochet. And so now the next 5, here's the V. I'm just going to do this first row with you, this first row of the pattern with you. 1, here's the V, 2, here we go. I believe this is 3. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Here's the V. 4. And then we're not going to finish this stitch because the next 2 are going to be in the heart color. So just bring the heart color over, and we'll finish up the stitch. And the next 2 stitches are going to be the heart color, so right in between here. I think I already said this, but there's a PDF version of this pattern in my description, so it's probably a good idea to print that out so that you can follow along with the grid. That will make it a lot easier. And so now we're going back to the original color, and I think there's 5 stitches to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let me do those 5, and then we'll just talk through what to do next, and we're going to do the next part off camera. So in between the V's here, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now since I'm doing this pattern twice, then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to go do another 5 in the main color, and then 2 in the heart color, another 5 in the main color, 2 in the heart color, 5 in the main color. I'm not going to be this detailed with every row because I think once we get the hang of this, you should be able to follow this on your own. And I might just do a quick, like, we're on row 2 or we're on row 3. And then you can look at your chart from there. Or if you're able to memorize this really quick for that row or for that round, because this always has to be worked in the round. So I'm going to finish this round, and then we'll come back and talk about the next round. But I wanted to show you how it looks like a knitted stitch. You can see the V's here. This is an actual knitted project, and you can see that it's just a bunch of V's on top of each other. V, 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 V. Okay, so finish the round and then come back. Okay, so here's what I have so far. It is going to be a little big for that. Maybe you could wear it up the arm a little bit if you made it big like me. But this is also just as an example. I didn't want to do a great big one. I think you can make it however you want after you get the hang of the pattern. So then the next round is going to be, my light doesn't seem very bright. I'm sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the main color, 1 in the heart color, 2 in the main, 1 in the heart. You're just going to follow this pattern. It's always going to be read right to left. If you're left-handed, there is a caveat to that. If you're left-handed, you're going to read it always from left to right. But I'm a right-handed, and I'm sorry, I do tend to do all my tutorials right-handed, so I apologize to all my left-handed friends. But this is how you would read it if you're right-handed. If you're left-handed, you would go the other direction. So we'll start here and follow pattern 2 and then come back. Okay, that's the end of the second round. I love how you can start to see how it's shaping up, and how you can see how much this looks like the knitted stitch. But we are crocheting. So now off to the third round. We'll just take a look really quick and we'll do it off camera. We're going to start here with 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the main color like last time, and then these 2 will be on top of each other. Now we're going to extend the heart in, I guess is how you would say, into a point. So there'll be 3 here, 1, 1, 1, and so on. So we're going to follow this third row of the pattern and then come back. I just love how this works up. Hopefully yours is looking like mine. You can see how beautiful this stitch looks, how beautiful this stitch works up. So we are moving on to the fourth. So I'm going to follow all of the directions here for the fourth, and then I'll come back and show you how it looks after the fourth. All right, this is the last time I'm going to show a row, because I think as long as you have this PDF printed out, if for some reason you're not able to do that, you can probably right now, I'll try to get as close as I can, take a screenshot of this so that you can have the pattern. there's no reason why you can't follow along with the pattern to finish it up. But I had a thought as I was making this, and you can see what you think about it. I love how this is turning out. It's turning out so pretty. You can see the start of the heart there and over here as well. I was thinking that this might be the size of some kind of cup cozy or something like that, because the more that I'm looking at this, the more I'm like, this is going to be way too big. But I know that of course, I am a bigger person, so one might be perfectly fine for somebody who's not big like me. But for me, there wasn't going to be that in-between size that was going to fit me. But this does kind of look like, I'll give it a try. Once I finish this, I'm going to see if it fits on some kind of cup that I have. And if it does, then I'm just going to use it as a cup cozy. I should have done it in cotton, but I didn't have the thought to do it as a cup cozy until just as I was working on this row. So I'm going to finish this up, and you can do the same, and then I'll come back and show you my finished project at the end. Hi, I finished the crochet swatch that I was going to do. I wanted to wear the headband to show you how the headband would look if you did it in the full amount of stitches that I have in there for the headband. And so here's how the final project works. Amazingly enough, I'm glad that as I was working, it just kind of hit me like, oh, this would make a good cup cozy, and it actually does. So this is how my little swatch turned out, and now I'm going to keep it on my cup. But I did want to show you that if you wanted to do it as a cuff, it's not that bad. You can put it up your arm a little bit. It made me thinking a little bit like, I wonder if I could make a wearable out of this, and this, if I worked up the sleeve, repeated the pattern. I don't know if I have the patience to go full force on that and try and figure out a top design. The thing about wearables for me is that I have trouble adjusting for size. So I could tell you how to do it to fit my body, but beyond that, I would be lost in trying to explain that. But anyway, the pattern is there. The PDF is in the description. So feel free to make designs with it. And I hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. And thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.